When I'm stressed, I eat junk food.
Let me explain what happens when you get stressed. The first thing to know is that stress is actually a good thing. We need it because it was designed to save our lives. If you imagine that you're walking through a forest and you suddenly get confronted by a bear, okay, then your stress response kicks in and that helps you to survive. It does this by pumping out stress hormones like cortisol into your body, and that activates your arms and legs, and it slows down your digestion and your reproductive organs. That's really important. To jump into action, what you need is a real burst of energy, and to get this cortisol, the stress hormone, releases some glucose, which is another name for sugar, from where it's stored in the liver, and the body stores it in the liver for just such an emergency. Now, the idea here is that we would use up this released glucose by being really active immediately and fighting the bear or running away from it. So after the danger is past, the body then wants to replace that sugar that it's used up and put it back into the liver in case there's a future emergency. When we put that scenario into our lives today, it becomes a very different story, because the body doesn't know the difference between the stress that's caused by a bear or the stress that's caused by a horrible boss or a tight deadline or, juggling sick kids with working deadlines and traffic jams and all of those kinds of things. So when we're faced with these modern stresses, the body reacts in the exact same way and it activates the same response. Now, the problem we have in this modern day scenario is that we're not immediately getting active and burning up this glucose. We're just sitting at the desk or staying in our car and stressing. And when that bit of stress passes, the liberated glucose doesn't just get put back into the liver. If it's not burned up by the physical action, it is unfortunately stored in our fat cells, usually around the middle of our bodies.
How can I fight stress cravings?
Okay, there are some simple tips that help manage and calm your body's response to stress, which are going to help with the cravings. Now, firstly, practicing meditation and mindfulness. Just doing 10 minutes of deep breathing has been shown to lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. So if you're in the middle of finalizing a big time-sensitive project and your boss comes in with something else urgent, as soon as you find a small window, shut yourself away for a few minutes, or if you can, get outside and just breathe. The second tip is to try not to eat when you're stressed. Take a few minutes to do some deep breathing before you eat, and what that does is it takes you out of the stress response and puts you into a nice calm place, which gets your digestion working properly. The third thing is foods. There are lots of foods that help fight stress cravings, and ones that are high in magnesium, B vitamins and vitamin C are very important because these nutrients are used up really quickly when the body goes into this fight or flight mode. So replacing them helps you to readjust.
Who is Lindsay Baxter?
I'm a nutritional therapist and I'm a hypnotherapist. I use these and other tools to coach my clients to achieve their goals. I specialize in helping professional women who are overstressed and overweight, or maybe getting that way, by helping them to release their stress and using health coaching techniques and accountability. I've been a cog, or I was a cog in the corporate wheel for nearly 20 years, so I understand what it's like and ways that I can help. So, I've been there. I know what it's like to be stuck at your desk from 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night or later. So I can help to make suggestions for healthy snacks to keep at work in case you can't get away from your desk. I moved into nutrition firstly to improve my own health, to understand how to make better choices and to stop the constant colds and infections that I was getting living this lifestyle. But as I continued my studies, I realized that this was actually what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to help other people to make good choices and prioritize their health over a promotion or a pay rise.
Which healthy foods should always be on a woman's diet?
Women have lots of hormonal things going on, and fat is actually needed for hormone production. Now, we also need to keep our thyroid glands working properly because this regulates our metabolism. It keeps things like weight and energy levels in balance. To ensure that that happens, to keep the thyroid in balance, we need to protect our adrenal glands, which produce the stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Now, the adrenal glands are affected by stress. When women are approaching the menopause, it's even more important to look after the adrenal glands to guard against the symptoms of menopause.
Your tips to help build healthy eating styles.
I think the most important thing is to eat a really varied diet. Now, no one diet works for everyone. Some people really thrive on a vegan diet, while others feel better following a caveman type diet where there's more meats involved. So lots and lots of variety, seasonal veg where possible, because that's better for us and it's better for the environment, and a variety of different kinds and combinations of legumes if you're not a meat eater. More fat and less sugar in the diet. Eating mindfully it's really important. Try to avoid being in front of a screen when you're eating and focus on the pleasure of what you're eating. And finally, eat more vegetables. The 5 fruit and vegetables a day campaign should, in my opinion, actually be more like 9 vegetables and 1 or 2 fruits per day, because it provides us with so much more fiber and many more vitamins and minerals.